Thank you for joining me, beautiful people. Today we are going to talk about the Tinder Swindler and the number one con that's sweeping the globe right now, which is romantic cons. Okay, the Tinder Swindler documentary. It's a new documentary with the Netflix series about a scammer who stole millions from unsuspecting women with an elaborate con game. Now, I did another video about another heartless con man that used another dating app to scam a normal American woman out of about $100,000. But for the Tinder Swindler, that's basically peanuts, okay? He made out with about $10 million from all the women combined. Okay, so as Netflix is presenting this story to us, I'm going to point out some things that made my spidey senses tingle, okay? They raised red flags for me, red flags, even though the documentary's producer said there were no red flags. Okay, there were at least 5 things that rubbed me the wrong way. And this can be helpful, especially if you or somebody you know finds yourself falling head over heels in love with one of these players, to the point where you can't see straight. It happens to people. So the Tinder Swindler opens up with the main female, Cecille Fjellhoy, who has been using the Tinder dating app for 7 years. No shade. Okay, but she finds this guy, Simon Leviev, to be her type. So she swipes and she gets a match. And she does mention that she is indeed looking for the total package. Okay, she refers to a quote from Marilyn Monroe when Marilyn's talking about rich men and pretty women in marriage. Okay, so she goes to his Instagram. He has more photos. He looks like an animal lover kissing a puppy. And all these pictures are so stylish. He's always in designer clothes from head to toe. It shows how inexpensive his wardrobe is. He is in the finest of clothes. He's always in the finest of cars, on the finest of yachts, on jets. He's at the finest of locations, exotic locations. And the man is just trying to send you a clear message. He wants to get it across to you that he got it like that he's wealthy and he's balling out of control, okay? The age he has on his profile picture is 28. Okay, so I'm going to tell you I had a problem with the documentary, some things right from the start with both sides. Cecilia said from her own mouth that when she told him that she lived in London, he writes back, "Oh, you're in London? I'm here on business in London, and I'm leaving tomorrow. We should meet at my hotel, the Four Seasons, for an hour, okay, to have coffee." To me, that's like, you're here, you're there, you're there, you're here, but you only have an hour, okay? In Europe, a lot of times, having a coffee, that's like code for anything could go down, okay? Kind of like along the lines of a booty call. So I can understand you moving your feet for a booty call. If you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. But Cecille says she's not in the hookup culture. She's looking for lasting romance, she says. So I don't know why she took off like a horse out of the gates to meet this dude for an hour. She's running to him, okay? That does not sound romantic to me. That sounds more like, girl, you better come jump on this. That's what it sounds like to me. Even when I was 20, that would have turned me off, okay? With a dude I never met before telling me he only got a minute like that, but I'm gonna run over to him. And I don't think Cecilia would have ran to him if he was a plumber, okay? She would have said, like, maybe next time. So I'm like, already, be for real, girl. Why you dashing off to meet this dude? I think to be adjacent to a player, perhaps. That's what I'm thinking. But that's okay. All of it's okay. Because plenty of modern women, they know how to navigate a lifestyle of casual sex. They okay with it. They down with the game, okay? And actually, if you like what I'm sharing so far, I would like for you to just hit the like button, share, subscribe, if I'm giving you value here. Okay, so Cecilia does go to meet him in his exquisite Four Seasons hotel. She says she feels out of place there as she's waiting in the lobby, but finally Simon comes out of the elevator and he walks out and she feels like he looks exactly like his pictures. And she says, oh shit. Okay, those Instagram pictures that are so highly polished, so highly styled. So he could look as good as he wanted, and he was looking good, like he stepped from the pages of a magazine. And this coffee thing takes place. And Cecilia says one of the first thing he starts talking about is money. And I'm sure he wanted to know her financial situation. Okay, and my thoughts are another red flag. That ain't no date, baby. That sounds like an interview. First of all, it's only an hour. That's my second red flag, okay? That's not like, for me, that's not an icebreaker. You only have a short time to be together. He does share that he is the CEO of LLC Diamonds, which is a position that was afforded to him from his father because his father is the king of diamonds. So that makes him the prince of diamonds because this is a very successful family empire, if you will. And of course, this is all moving pretty quick because he's like, hey, it's time for me to leave on my trip to Bulgaria. And I have my daughter here. She'll be turning 2 in a little while, in some days. And why don't you come with us? I'll give you my chauffeur. He can take you home and you can gather a few things and you can fly away with me and my crew. So once again, pow, Cecilia is off to the races, making a mad dash, going home to pack her stuff up. But she does call her friend. No, she texts them in a group chat just to share her great fortune about meeting this baller, okay? And one of her friends says, hey, this does not sound safe. Send a picture of him. You should Google him. They're really concerned. But Cecilia herself did not give it a second thought. But they Google and everything, and yeah, her girlfriend was literally the only thing that slowed her down for a second. This was the only time that she took a pause for the cause during the whole entire documentary. And that's my that's my third point. She took off like a racehorse right from the gates, right from the start, and she never broke this tempo. She never reflected on their conversations until things went totally wrong and she was out of $250,000. In other words, that's like $250,000, y'all, from a relatively average chick. Now, I just jumped ahead of the story. We're still at the beginning. So Cecilia takes off with him. All her friends could do is hope for the best because Cecilia was gone. It was out of their hands. Minutes flat, she's in the air. And honestly, I couldn't get past the intro without it sounding like a booty call. And that's okay. When you're a woman, you know what you want to do. I get that. And in fairness to her, the Google results did leave her feeling satisfied that he was the Prince of Diamonds and she could believe this diamond story. For her, it checked out, and wanting to meet up with a man with money, I can understand. And Simon looks like a smooth man that knows how to enjoy life. But to me, that's like, he looks like a lady killer, like a ladies' man. Actually, he looks like a complete player. Like the sex on the run thing is his thing. And that brings me to my fourth point of concern I think we're at right now. The fact that he turned out to be an absolute player should not shock. Where's the shock? Where's the surprise in that? You think this dude is flying all over to these exotic locations, dressing himself in the most expensive designer clothes to sit in a hotel lobby by yourself? Or sit drinking tea in the lobby. We're in Europe, we drink tea, okay? Or being on a yacht by yourself. I would go on a yacht with him. That's why I got I'm ready for the yacht. This is a 28-year-old that has access to money. Be for real, girl. Now, I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I can understand her having her feelings hurt knowing that he's a player, but being a shot girl for real. And we're still just minutes into the documentary right now. There's no sex that has been had. There's no money being exchanged on wire transfer. still okay. But she is off to the races, but not in trouble yet. And Simon did set up his profile to catch a particular type of woman. And please don't think for a minute that Cecille didn't know what type of man this dude was, that he was a smooth one. He's a ladies' man. Look, I've done the same thing myself, hanging out with super fly type men. You're young, you're dating, it's cool, it's fun. But you're not trying to run into no con man. But a dude that's, playing the field a little bit, okay. And she knew she was playing with fire, and it is easy for me to break down exactly how she knew he was a player, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm not trying to victim blame. I just want to point out a few things that should raise up a red flag for any woman, girl, or man who comes across a deceitful type like this, okay? You or somebody maybe you've been playing with fire a little bit. People do it. And you find yourself falling for a player. And it just goes beyond not feeling a little bit not right. It feels extremely wrong. And before things get to the critical point and you start detecting game, you could run or slip away. But if you stick around, you will surely arrive to the place. That's my fifth point, where the con man starts convincing you. He starts love bombing you and convincing you not to believe your own eyes. Because at this point, Cecilia has given up the punani on the first night. Even though she says she doesn't have an interest in the hookup culture, she gives him the punani and he ghosts her. Okay, but this is still boy meets girl stuff. She wants to see him again, and then he pops up again, and then he starts love bombing her, and he says, hey, he wants her to be his girl. He thinks about her. That's all he wants. Then he goes to her again. And she's just left wondering, where is this dude? Lonely. And she doesn't look for another hookup. She starts looking after his Tinder profile. And she sees that he has updated his profile with new pictures, those highly stylized Hollywood pictures, and her feelings are hurt. Then he tells her, oh, no, I am no longer active on Tinder. Like, basically, don't believe your own eyes. And then she decides to continue living in this alternative reality that he's created for her, this like metaverse, which is, it happens. This is still kind of normal, right? With this boy meets girl stuff, you messing with a player. But then here we go to the next place. He says, let us live together. You should search an apartment, and the budget should be $15,000 a month. Okay, so Cecilia's looking for this apartment all on her lonesome. He's not around for nothing. Okay, but she's excited about this. She's running all around London looking for these high-end apartments. Then starts this money stuff. This is my 6th point. I know I might be at 7. This should actually be the first point. Don't give no dude any money that you are not prepared to kiss goodbye. If you're prepared to lose the money, then okay. I should really say, don't give nobody no money, unless you're gonna do a contract. But if you meet a dude, he forgot his wallet at home, you gotta pay for the burgers or the coffee, the parking ticket, that's okay. Even though a lot of females would be out after even an episode like that. But Simon, let me tell you, he started his con on a whole nother level. And that's what these guys do. They mix their story, bullshit, with, the game that they're running. They always present themselves like they're a man of means to these women so that women think that they hit the jackpot. And then the game starts. They make sure that you have a comfortable income, that you can get money some kind of way. But come on, think about it. This man's supposed to come from a legacy of wealth, from a family of diamond handlers. His father's the king of diamonds. Simon's the prince of diamonds. You know what? I've already gone too far. I have. Please leave me a comment Let me know if you think I've been being too harsh. Please like, share, and subscribe because YouTube wants to know what you think and I want to know what you think. And I'm going to prepare a list of questions for you to think about if you ran across one of these player types and you need to shake yourself loose. If you need to ask yourself some things to get your mind back, or one of your friends needs to do the same thing, I will provide that list of questions. Thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a comment. Peace, y'all.